Here's how you know your flight's in trouble: when the captain takes control. 16 people were injured when a Southwest Airlines plane made a hard landing on its nose at LaGuardia Airport on July 22nd. The NTSB is still investigating the crash, but yesterday it issued a report that said that the captain of the plane took over from the first officer just 400 feet from the ground. A private aviation expert said that it's unusual for a co-pilot or captain to take over a plane that's landing when it's so close to the tarmac unless there are, quote, profound safety issues.
The report only says that they got to 400 feet or about between 200 and 400 feet, and they were on the glide slope and everything seemed fine. And then we have this strange occurrence where the pilot takes command away from the co-pilot, and we don't know why. Presumably something happened that made the pilot want to do that.
Stephen, is there something you could explain to us as to why it's so strange that that happened?
Well, anytime that you switch command of the aircraft, I mean that's it's unusual at that altitude for any kind of change in the approach path. What you want a very stable, very calm, very uneventful path anywhere below 1,000 feet, anywhere in the flight, but particularly below 1,000 feet. So if something's happening below 400 feet, usually, if there's anything wrong at all within 500 feet of the ground as you're approaching a runway, the pilot will choose to do a go-around. In this case, they chose not to do the go-around and continue the approach. And all of that is unusual, and we don't know why.
And, maybe you can help us make some more sense of this. I know not all the details are out, but some aviation experts have said it's clear the NTSB is focused on the first officer's performance. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know if that's clear yet, and that might be a bit more speculation than we have based on the information that we have. What will be very interesting is when the NTSB releases the transcript of the cockpit voice recorder and details from the flight data recorder, which they have, and they've been looking at for at least 2 weeks, but they haven't released it yet. That information, I think, will give us a lot more. Sort of narrow the gaps in information right now.
Is that the black box that you're referring to, as we refer to it?
Yeah, it's actually an orange box, but they call it a black box. Yeah.
Oh, right, because it's not confusing already. But we also heard that the first officer in question had about 5,200 hours logged. I know that 4,000 of them were as pilot in command. He had landed at LaGuardia 6 times in the past. I mean, is that number 5,200 a lot, a little?
No, that's an average amount, and the experience clearly wasn't an issue. Both of the pilots were very well experienced.
He had never logged in as well. We heard from the report as a pilot in command of a 737. Does that matter? I mean, I know this is a lot of speculation, even the questions, but a lot of people are asking these questions.
No, of course. I mean, not everybody can be pilot in command, and you can spend several thousand hours in a career without being a pilot in command of an aircraft like 737. So that's not unusual. It's not unusual for them to fly the approaches.